Okay, I just want to thank you for joining us today for the info session for the MBA program at California State University, San Bernardino. Again, MBA is Master of Business Administration. An MBA sets you up for management and leadership positions in a variety of industries, and it also can set you up to start your own business. So that's what's great about this business graduate program. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to put those in the chat. I am going to go ahead and put my contact information in the chat as well. My name is Molly Riter. I am the recruiter for the Master of Business Administration program at California State University, San Bernardino. I am here to help you understand the ins and outs of the program. I'm also here to provide application assistance. And so if you have any questions, again, you're welcome to put those in the chat, or you can go ahead and reach out to me directly. Again, I put my contact information in the chat. I also put our front office phone number and then the website as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So the MBA program at California State University has a number of noteworthy distinctions. Additionally, it is AACSB accredited. So what does that mean? And why does that matter? AACSB accreditation, only 5% of business schools in the world have that prestigious accreditation. So it is a rigorous accreditation that we go through, and it does put our program in the top 5% in the world. So definitely that sets us apart. And then you'll see a number of the other accolades, a number of the other distinctions. And so I am going to go ahead and move on. But if you have any questions, again, I want to note you're welcome to put those questions in the chat, and we will get to them as we go through this presentation today. All right, so why choose an MBA for California State University, San Bernardino? Why choose our MBA program? I mentioned the prestigious accreditation, the AACSB accreditation, but also we have exceptional faculty. So our faculty must have either earned a terminal degree, which essentially means that they've gotten like a PhD, and be research active. So what does that mean? It means that they are actively researching in their field. They're publishing articles in prestigious journals. And so they are definitely at the forefront with research and publishing, and just that awareness and knowledge of that particular field. For example, like human resources or management. And then if they have not had a terminal degree, they must have at least a graduate degree like an MBA and have over 5 years of professional experience. So let me just elaborate on that a bit. I like to give the example of our MBA director. So our MBA director is Ernie Silvers. He has his MBA and he has nearly 30 years experience as CEO for a local manufacturing company. So you can imagine the wealth of knowledge and experience that he brings into the classroom with him. Now, in addition to exceptional faculty, we also offer convenient class times. So our program is geared toward working professionals. So all of our classes for our on-campus program are 5:30 p.m. and later on weekdays or on weekends. And then we also do have a fully online executive MBA program. So very convenient class times. And then a number of our classes are hybrid, so partially online, partially in person. And then we also offer some additional things. We offer a merit scholarship, graduate assistantships, professional development funds, study abroad opportunities. And we have a dedicated team, a dedicated MBA team. So not a lot of graduate programs have a dedicated team that is available to you. So I'm here to answer any questions you may have about the MBA program. I'm also here to help you with the application. If you have questions about that, you can always reach out to me. Again, my contact information is in the chat. In addition to that, we have a dedicated student advisor. His name is DeLorean. He's a fantastic resource. resource. So he's been with the program for a number of years, and I work with him closely, and he's wonderful to work with. So just a side note about me, I am actually about halfway through the MBA program myself. So I can answer any questions you may have about being a student in the program as well. I'm happy to answer any of those questions. I found that it has really added to my knowledge and just filling in those gaps, because I have a number of years of experience, but filling in those knowledge gaps and being able to connect with classmates has been really lovely. It is challenging. It's a grad program, but I have found it to be a really rewarding experience. And we actually happen to have with us today another of my classmates. Her name is Rochelle Reynoldson. I can't believe I got that wrong. She's actually a dear friend of mine, and we actually went on a study abroad this summer together to Italy and Greece. So Rochelle Reynoldson, thank you for joining us today, my friend. Sorry for the snafu with the whole name situation. I love you to pieces. Please go ahead and share your experience in the program.
So I started at the same time as Molly, and I am also halfway through. I've actually enjoyed this program. It took me 20 years to get back to my MBA. After my bachelor's, I did graduate from Cal State in 2000, and I've enjoyed the program so much that even one of my I was just making sure my speaker's on. I've just totally blinked out there.
You're
Um,
good.
I enjoyed one of my classes so much, the HR class, that I actually am now, I have a dual major. So I am majoring in management, and I'm also majoring in human resources because I have enjoyed the professors a lot. Why did I pick this program? So I was actually applying to University of Redlands, and when I realized I graduated from Cal State San Bernardino, and I knew that they had the best business program around, and it's actually been has received more awards than University of Redlands, I decided why I couldn't. I didn't know why I didn't go think of my alum. So I stopped that application real fast and applied to Cal State San Bernardino, and I'm really glad to be back. I love this campus. The people here are really great. The advisors are really great. DeLauren has helped me so much plan out my whole 2 years, or 2.5 years, because now I have two majors. But it's the whole program, the atmosphere and everything. I'm really glad that I'm back at this campus. So that's why I chose Cal State again.
Thank you, Rochelle. That was
You're
great.
welcome.
Rochelle actually took time out of her busy workday to stop in and share her experience with you. So I just really want to thank you for that, friend. Thanks
No
for being
problem.
here. All right, so I'm going to let you get back to your day, but I did want all of you to be able to hear from a current student about her experience in the program. And then, of course, you're always, throughout the rest of this presentation, you're always welcome to ask me any questions since I'm in it as well. But does anybody have any last questions for Rochelle before we let her go? Okay. John, thank you so much for your question. And Rochelle, thanks for being here.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right. So you heard a little bit about this program from the perspective of the awards that it's won, from the perspective of the prestigious accreditation, the exceptional faculty, and from the perspective of students. And so I also want to share that this program is actually one of the most affordable programs in our region. So really, based on cost, quality, and convenience, it really is one of the best MBA options worldwide. All right. So how do you apply for the MBA program? So let's talk about admissions requirements. So To apply for the MBA program, you do need to have a bachelor's degree from an accredited university or college. And you also do need to provide your official transcripts, meaning you need to have your university or college send your bachelor's transcripts to Cal State San Bernardino. We are looking for a 3.0 GPA or higher. However, under certain circumstances, like an exceptional work history, we do take down to a 2.5. And just a note about GPA, when we're looking at GPA, we look at not only your cumulative or your entire undergraduate education, but we also take into consideration your last 60 semester or 90 quarter units. And so just a note about GPA, if you really did buckle down those last couple of years, we really do take that into consideration, because when we're looking at applications, we take a holistic view of applications. We're looking at all of the elements, not just one or two. So Lansana, I see you have a question here. Um, so, is there a specific requirement regarding academic background? That is an excellent question. So I want to mention that we accept all majors and all backgrounds, and there are no specific prerequisites. In other words, there are no specific classes you need to take in order to apply for this program. In fact, a coworker of mine used to say that you could get your bachelor's degree in underwater basket weaving and you could still apply for this program. So, yes, I hope that answers your question. Even if you have a very different background, say you graduated with engineering and you've only been in engineering, but you really want to transition to human resources, you could do that. You could choose to do the traditional MBA program with a concentration in human resources management. Now, I do want to clarify that Rochelle was saying that she majored in human resources. She was doing a dual major. Actually, what she's referring to are concentrations. So those are their concentration areas, and I'll share more about that in just a few minutes. But we do have a traditional MBA program with concentration areas, also referred to as focus areas. And then a little bit separate from that, we have our executive MBA program. So let's actually talk about those program options. So we don't require work experience for the traditional MBA program. What we have instead is called our business aptitude requirement. And we only require that you satisfy this requirement one of the following four ways. So you could have a 3.2 GPA from an AACSB accredited undergraduate business program. So let me give you an example. If you graduated from Cal State San Bernardino's Jack Brown Business College with a business degree, and your GPA was 3.2 or higher, that would satisfy the business aptitude requirement. So the university has to be AACSB accredited. You have to have graduated with a business degree, and your GPA needs to be 3.2 or higher for that particular way of satisfying the requirement. However, there are three other ways. Okay, so the second way is to have already completed another graduate degree, like another master's degree. The third way is if you have that 2 or more years of professional experience. Now, unfortunately, internships are not eligible for this. However, we do look at both paid and unpaid work experience. So say, for example, you were president of a professional club for a year. And you had a number of responsibilities and duties in that role while you were at university. That would count toward this professional experience. So we are looking at both paid and unpaid. And considering that, I would strongly recommend that you add all of your leadership and volunteer leadership experience to your resume, because that is the first way we look to see if your professional experience will satisfy the business aptitude requirement. Now, if one of these first three ways, the GPA, another graduate degree, or the work experience, are not applicable to you, then the final way would be to provide either a GRE or a GMAT test to score with at least 10% ranking in the verbal and quantitative sections. So For the GRE, we are looking for at least a 298 score. And for the GMAT, we're looking for at least a 470 score. Now, I do want to clarify, if you are able to satisfy the business aptitude requirement, one of those first 3 ways that I mentioned, then that will waive the GRE or GMAT. So you will not need to provide a test score if you can satisfy the business aptitude requirement one of those first 3 ways. Um, if you have any questions about this, please go ahead and put those in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. And if you have any specific questions related to your own personal experience, then I encourage you to reach out to me. I would be more than happy to meet with you specifically to go over your resume and see if that work experience it satisfies, or maybe you want me to look at your resume to see if the work experience satisfies for the executive MBA program, because for our executive MBA program, we do require 2 or more years of professional experience. And so I'd be happy to do a resume review. You're welcome to reach out to me. Now, how do you apply for the MBA program? So you are going to do an electronic application on the Cal State Apply website. So to that application, you're going to upload your unofficial transcripts from your bachelor's. And then you will also provide 1 letter of recommendation. Now, this letter of recommendation can actually be requested through the application. And so you'll see there are 4 quadrants in the application. And in the 4th quadrant, it says supporting documents, and then there's a tab that says recommendations. So it actually sends an email to your recommender. My suggestion to you would be to give your recommender the heads up and let them know that it's coming. But then you can actually log back into your application and check from time to time to see if they have completed their recommendation for you. Now, of course, you can also provide, if you have a recommendation already for graduate school, you can, of course, upload that to your application. And if you've already submitted your application, any documents you haven't already uploaded to your application, you can just send to us. We'll go ahead and add that to your application for you. Okay. And then for the letter of recommendation, we accept either an academic or a professional source. So for example, if you have a professor you would like to provide a letter of recommendation, or maybe you'd like your supervisor to do that. Those are just examples, but that gives you an idea. Now, we are also going to have you upload your current resume. So I do want to make some notes about the resume. You want to make sure to include months as well as years for each of your employment entries. So each position you've held, make sure you have month and year start and end date. If it's your current position, you could just put month and year start date to present, for example. And then that just gives us an idea of how much experience you've had. And then make sure that you include a detailed job description for every single employment entry, or as I mentioned earlier, you can include your leadership experience or your volunteer leadership experience. Treat that the same way that you would the employment entries, start and end dates, and in addition to a detailed job description. Okay, and then that gives us a real good sense of your experience. And so we're not looking for a typical 1 or 2 page resume you might submit for a job. This is for grad school, so it is going to be a bit different. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. I am happy to meet with each of you individually. All right. So in addition to the letter of recommendation, the resume, your unofficial transcripts, you are also going to provide a statement of purpose. Now, this is 250 to 500 words telling us why you selected Cal State San Bernardino for your MBA, what would make you a good candidate for our program, and what you want to do with your MBA after you graduate. So again, 250 to 500 words. We're not looking for any specific format, but use those questions as the basis for writing your statement of purpose. And then you're also going to be doing a 30-minute application interview. Now, this interview can either be done on Zoom, so virtually, or it can be done over the phone if you don't have access to Zoom. And so that is part of the application process. Now, my recommendation to you is once you start your electronic application on the Cal State Apply website, do three things. Request your official transcripts from your university, request that one letter of recommendation that we require, and schedule your application interview. Because those are the three things that will really take that time, and you're relying on other people for some of those, and so those are the first three things I would recommend doing. Now, I've mentioned that we have MBA program options. So I want to clarify that whether it be our traditional MBA or executive MBA, they are all the Master of Business Administration program. However, for the traditional MBA program, it is an on-campus MBA program, and it is on the semester system. It is tuition-based. Now, we also have an on-campus executive MBA program. It is, again, tuition-based, and on the semester system. However, we also have a fully online executive MBA program. So these are the options that I'm talking about. So 1 degree, the Master of Business Administration degree, with that are in 3 options. So our traditional MBA program is 36 to 42 units and 12 to 14 courses. Now, why the range? Because it depends on the concentration or focus area that you select. And I'll go into depth in just a few minutes. Now, I also mentioned we have an on-campus semester based executive MBA program, which is 30 units and 10 courses. Some differences here. The traditional MBA program does not require work experience. And the executive MBA program does require 2 or more years of professional experience with significant responsibilities and duties. And Mohammed, I see your message here. We at this time we don't have a fully online traditional MBA program. I can say that our traditional MBA program is hybrid, meaning that many of the classes are hybrid. They meet partially in person, partially online, but it is considered an on-campus, in-person MBA program. And so we actually have the recruiter here for the fully online executive MBA program. There is 2 or more years of professional experience required for this program, but it is structured quite differently because it is geared specifically toward mid-career professionals. And so it is, again, fully online, no class attendance required. And I want to invite Jessica to go ahead and share a little bit about the fully online program. Jessica, are you ready to share?
Yes,
Oh,
thank
wonderful.
you.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Molly. Hi, everyone. So, like Molly mentioned, my name is Jessica. I'm one of the grad programs recruiters for the College of Extended and Global Education. And the MBA Online for Executives program is a program that we offer in collaboration of our College of Extended and Global Education and the Jack H. Brown College of Business and Public Administration. I did want to know how many of you are interested in the online executives option. You can either unmute yourself or raise your hand or put it in the chat. I just want to get an idea if anyone's interested. Okay, perfect. Okay, great. Thank you. So the online path is similar to the on-site for executives in a sense, but the classes are going to be 100% online and they're more accelerated. They're offered in an asynchronous modality, which basically means there aren't scheduled class lectures. That is, you're not required to log in at a particular day or time. Some instructors might offer live Zoom sessions, but they're not mandatory to attend. And if they're available, they'll be recorded so you can watch them, the recorded lectures whatever time's convenient for you. Our program runs year-round, which means we offer classes in the fall, winter, spring, and in the summer. The fall and the spring semesters are going to consist of 2 6-week sessions. Summer has 2 5-week sessions, and the winter has 1 6-week session. And we offer 4 intakes per year. So students are able to apply for admissions for fall or for spring, and each term is going to have 2 available intakes. We don't have intakes for summer or winter terms, but we are currently accepting applications for spring sessions 1 or 2. And we recommend students to take 1 course at a time, since going back to the courses, the modality, since these courses are so accelerated. But if you follow the recommended path, you can complete the program in 21 months, or you can extend the length if you need to go at a slower pace. But I do recommend that if you are interested in the online path, that you schedule a one-on-one appointment with me via Zoom. I'm going to be posting my contact information in the chat for you to view that. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Thank you, everyone, and I'll pass it back to you, Molly. Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. Yeah, what's nice about the online executive MBA program is it's fully online. So very convenient for busy professionals. So thanks for being here, Jessica. She's really helpful if you're interested in that program option in particular. And Mohammed had a question about the difference between the tuition for the different programs. Thank you. We're going to go into that a little bit later, but I will let you know that it does depend on whether you're a California resident or an international student for our on-campus MBA program options. However, the fully online executive MBA program is $33,000. So if you're a California resident, and I can see you are, Mohammed, thank you. So you're looking at, for the traditional MBA program, you're looking at approximately 27 to 30,000. Again, depending on the concentration you select. For the executive MBA program, you're looking at about 25,000. And this is the entire program. If you were to look at other universities, University of Redlands is about 60,000 for their entire program. UCR is 94,000. And then down the road, University of Claremont, which is a private university, is about 150. So you can see that dramatic difference when you take into consideration the prestigious accreditation and national rankings. And then add into that the affordability. It's just a really incredible value. So I had mentioned, there was also another question in here, what the degree is going to say. So I do want to clarify that the degree will say Master of Business Administration, concentration in, and then it'll depend on the concentration you've selected, like maybe human resources management. If it is the executive MBA, it'll say executive concentration. And that'll be the same for the online. Your degree does not say online. It says Master of Business Administration, Executive Concentration. So, and then I also wanted to mention, so Jessica clarified that the online executive MBA is about 21 months. I wanted to clarify that typically it takes people in the on-campus program 24 to 36 months is what I would say. It's pretty typical to say 24 to 36 months. You can go at your own pace though, as long as you finish the degree within 6 years, you can go at your own pace. This works really nicely for working professionals. So if you're wanting to take 1 class at a time, if you want to take 2 classes at a time, most working professionals take 2 classes per semester, and then they get done in 2 to 3 years. And that's actually what I'm doing. I'm accelerating my program by taking classes over the summer. And classes over the summer have been fully online. So I actually took 3 classes this last summer. And so that really does help to accelerate your time in the program. If you're in the traditional MBA program and you take classes over the summer as well, you can get done in 2 years. For sure. So again, this is totally up to you. And then we understand that things happen. So if you need to do a leave of absence for a semester, for example, maybe you got promoted at work or you have something going on with your family and you just need to take a semester off, we totally understand. All you need to do is communicate with us in the MBA office so that we can make sure the appropriate paperwork is filed, and then you can take that time that you need. And so that's 100% understandable and won't impact your program except for maybe extend it a little bit of time, of course. But again, you have 6 years to complete the whole program for the on-campus semester-based traditional or executive MBA program. All right. If you have any other questions, feel free to put those in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer them. And I'm also going to put my contact information back in the chat just in case you missed it earlier. So that's going to be in there. I'm getting a question. Okay, so Nadia, is it possible to deliver the academic documents directly to the office? Yes. So you have the address there. I provided you the address for for where to send the official transcripts. You can actually go to the Office of International Admissions and drop them off, as they're only considered official transcripts if they're in a sealed envelope from the university, though. They are automatically considered unofficial once you've opened those transcripts, or if they're a digital copy of the transcripts that we can see, which are what you're supposed to upload to the electronic application. So I hope that clarifies. Yes, you're more than welcome to drop those off. Okay, so finally, let's talk about the concentrations. Okay, so these are the concentrations available for the traditional MBA program. So we have accounting and internal auditing, cybersecurity, entrepreneurship, finance, human resources management, hospitality management, interdisciplinary, which is if you want to customize your own concentration, that's a great one to select, management, marketing management, and global supply chain management. I'd like to make a note about a few of these. So our cybersecurity program is actually ranked by the NSA as an academic center for excellence. It is a nationally ranked cybersecurity program. It is also our only STEM designated concentration. Okay, so and it's also the only concentration that is 14 classes. All of the other classes, all of the other concentrations, I should say, are 12 classes. So cybersecurity is the only one that is STEM designated and 14 classes. Okay. And I'm getting another question. Is it possible for international students to enroll for a part-time study option in the MBA program? Yes, our program is customizable. So you can take one class, two classes. Now, considering that you will be on a visa, uh, that may change things. They're going to require that you're full time, but we consider full time. I believe for international students to be 3 classes, as long as it's, I believe, more than 6 units. So we can assist you with that. You can reach out to us, and I'll be happy to go into more depth. So I am very well versed on the MBA program, and the requirements, and the different elements. However, when it comes to international documents, I have more of a high level knowledge. So any really specific questions, I'll be referring you to Office of International Admissions. But I do want to say that about 30% of our program is international students. So we're very familiar with working with international students. And it's great to have people from that have work experience, that have excellent educational backgrounds from different countries. I think that it adds a really great element to our program, and it's really good for all of the students to experience the different cultures and to really get a sense of what work is like and life is like in another country. Because you know what, we are more and more becoming a global, business wise and life wise, and so I think that that's always a benefit. Okay, so another question. Yes, the MBA program is STEM designated if you select select the cybersecurity concentration. So again, it is STEM designated if you choose the traditional MBA program with the cybersecurity concentration. Okay. And again, that STEM designation does give you 3 years of OPT after you finish the program if you're an international student. All of our other concentrations will give you 1 year of OPT. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the MBA events and how we help you to really make the most of your MBA program. So we are always looking for innovative ways to really help our students grow as business professionals and to make the most of their MBA program. So here are some of the ways that we do that. We have a new student orientation. This takes place virtually 1 week before classes start. It is an opportunity for you to meet all of the MBA team members and to really get a sense of how to make the most of your program. We talk about all of the resources that are available to you as students. You get to meet us, you get to ask questions, and so it's mandatory, but it's well worth your time. In addition to that, I mentioned that we have a dedicated student advisor. So DeLorean is fantastic. He just, every time I have met with him as a student, he is incredibly helpful in helping me to structure my program, to see what classes I still need to take, to help me to select the right classes that fit into my schedule. For each semester, you do have the opportunity to meet with him every single semester to plan out your next semester's classes. And just a note that we actually enroll you in your first 2 classes for the on-campus executive and traditional MBA programs. And I know Jessica provides support in helping with enrollment as well. So for the on-campus traditional and executive MBA program, we enroll you in your first semester, and then you self-enroll after that. But you can meet at any point in time with DeLorean to really go over, how to make the most of the program, which classes to select. He can answer questions about professors, make suggestions for your elective classes, all those good kind of things. Okay, I'm getting another question. Is it possible to switch programs midstream? Okay, actually, yes. So I had talked about all those various concentrations. I want to make a note here that you can actually, it's very easy to change a concentration even when you're midway through your program. All you have to do is talk to us in the MBA program, file one form, and pay a $6 fee, and you can change your program. Now, I also want to note that 9 of the classes across all concentrations are going to be the same because it is a Master of Business Administration program. So you're getting all of those business classes. 9 of those are going to be the same. It's the 3 remaining classes if you've selected the traditional MBA program, or 5 if you're going with the cybersecurity concentration, that are going to be concentration or focus area specific. Now, for the executive MBA program, it's those 9 classes plus 1 elective class, and you can use that elective however you would like. You can take any 5,000 level and above class, or business class, or you can do a study abroad. So I'll share a bit about that in just a minute. But let me touch on some of these other extracurricular activities. So we have a leadership development program called our Passport program. And throughout the year, we host a variety of virtual seminars and workshops geared toward helping you to grow as a business leader. We also host in-person networking events that are always going to be after hours or on weekends, and recruiting fairs. Now, if you participate in 7 or more of those activities each academic year you're in the MBA program, then you'll receive a commendation for being part of a leadership development program, and you'll also receive a medallion that you can wear when you graduate. So I'm getting an additional question here. So the finance concentration has a total of 12 classes. Yes, just a reminder, all the concentrations are 12 classes except cybersecurity, which is 14. All right, thank you for that question. All right. And then I also want to mention that we've got an alumni speaker series. So this is a great way to connect with MBA alumni. They provide information on their various industries, whether it be accounting, finance, marketing, whether they're in management, maybe they own their own business. They're talking about their experience in this virtual speaker series, and they also talk about how the MBA impacted their career. And this is a great way, again, to connect with alumni. You can reach out to them on LinkedIn, make that connection, enhance those networking skills. And then we also have a career path series. Now, this is a virtual series where we actually bring professionals in various fields, like we have an executive coach come and talk about how to stop sabotaging your success. We've had a recruiter come talk about the do's and don'ts of interviewing. We have done sessions on the best resumes and cover letters. So we're doing our best to find those areas that we can help you to grow as business professionals and really help you to succeed in your career and bring those to you virtually. We also have an MBA student ambassador program. So, our student ambassadors are the face of the MBA program. They represent the program on campus and in the community through events, um, maybe by participating in a photo shoot for marketing materials or on our website. Maybe you'll see them on our social media sites. And there's only it's limited. There's only 7 or 8 spots available for the on-campus MBA program options, and there are only 1 or 2 spots in the online program. However, these student ambassadors get the chance to really connect more closely with us in the MBA office, which we love. We actually love all of our students and love to connect. You're always welcome to stop by. Um, and in return for their services, in return for their work, they receive professional development funds. So if you are wanting to enhance your MBA program by doing something like maybe attending a conference, or maybe you want to take an exam for a certification you'd like to earn, or maybe you want to participate in a case competition, if you're a student ambassador, you have professional development funds to go toward things like that. Now, if you're interested in this, you will learn more as you go through the application process. And of course, you'll learn more at our student orientation. Um, and it is something that new students are eligible to apply and interview for starting their second semester in the MBA program. So you're always welcome to reach out to me if you have additional questions. All right. So we also have MBA service learning experiences. So these are opportunities for you to connect with your classmates outside of the classroom, and to really give back to the community, to really help those in need in the community. So we've done everything from a food drive during the holidays, to a toy drive for underserved families in the community during the holidays as well. We've even gone to a community center and helped to organize their food pantry and their clothing closet on a Saturday morning. It's really rewarding work. And so we have a few of those opportunities throughout the year. Also gives you an opportunity to connect with local business leaders, which is great as well. Um, and then we also have Coyote Network. Now, Coyote Network is like LinkedIn, but for CSUSB or Cal State San Bernardino students and alumni, as well as MBA students and alumni. Okay. Ooh, jumped ahead there. All right. So financing your MBA, I'm sure this is also top of mind for all of you. So you can apply for financial aid for graduate school. And you can also apply for grants as well as scholarships. And you can, of course, take out loans as well. And then I also want to touch on graduate assistantships. So this is an opportunity for you to earn while you learn. So new MBA students can apply and interview for a graduate assistantship starting their second semester in the MBA program. And this is an opportunity to work directly with a professor um, on class materials, on research, whatever it is that the professor might need for 5 to 20 hours per week. And it pays $16 to $18 per hour. So if you're going full time in the MBA program, this might be a great option to, again, earn while you learn. And you'll learn more about this as you go through the application process and in student orientation as well. Okay, so cost breakdown. So this is what you're looking at for the various MBA program options. For the on-campus traditional MBA program for California residents, you're looking at a total program cost of between $27,000 to $31,000. Again, depending on the concentration that you've selected, how many classes you're taking per semester, things like that. For non-California residents and international students at 3 classes per semester, you're looking at a cost of between 39,000 to 47,000 approximately. Now, for California residents for the executive MBA program, you're looking at a total cost of about 25,000. And then for non-California residents and international students, that cost is about 36,000. And for the fully online executive MBA program, it is out of our self-support. It is a self-support and out of our extended learning department. And so it is a flat $33,000 or $3,300 per class and a total of 10 classes. Okay, so I also want to touch on some additional resources that we have on our Cal State San Bernardino campus. Now, these are available to all of our MBA students, actually to all Cal State San Bernardino students. So we do have services for students with disabilities. We have a Center for Global Management for international students, as well as that's also study abroads. That's also about the study abroads. I'm going to touch on that in just a minute. We have a recreation and wellness center. So this is essentially a gym. So you get a gym membership just for being a student on the Cal State San Bernardino campus, which is pretty cool. In fact, the gym is actually located right next to the business college. So yeah, it makes it very convenient. You just park once and you can go to class and to the gym and keep your health going. All right, we have counseling services are as well for Cal State San Bernardino students. We have a Veteran Success Center. We have an art museum on campus, which is really fun. It has some really wonderful exhibits coming through that art museum. And then we have a career center. We also have sporting events. The sporting events are so much fun. And then as I alluded to, study abroad programs. So let me just share a little bit about that. So as part of your MBA program, all of the concentrations except cybersecurity will have one class that where you can select any class you would like. Okay, so that's going to be an opportunity for you to do a study abroad. And so that study abroad is because our program is geared toward working professionals, it's only going to be 1 to 2 weeks. So I actually went on a study abroad this last summer, and um, it was wonderful. So it was just under 2 weeks. We went to Rome, Italy, and Athens, Greece, and it was an incredible experience. And the whole point of the class and the travel was to really get an understanding of how business differs between cultures, and how to, if you're interested in working with people from different cultures or working in another country, just understanding that how that could be a different experience for you, office etiquette, and things like that, how to communicate with your coworkers and when you're working in a different country and things like that. It was a really rewarding experience. I would strongly recommend it if that's something you're interested in doing. Um, And we have study abroads that go everywhere from Ireland to France to Germany to Italy to Greece to Tanzania to South Korea and more. And so you're always welcome to talk to your student advisor, DeLauren, about that if that's something you're interested in doing when you're in the MBA program. And then one of the services on our Cal State San Bernardino campus that is near and dear to my heart is Obershaw Den. This is a beautiful service for students who are struggling to make ends meet financially. And I had mentioned earlier that one of our MBA service learning projects was a food drive, and we actually gather food for Obershaw Den. So every year we do that. This last year, we were able to gather about $3,000 worth of food to donate to Obershaw Den. Again, I think that's a really beautiful service for students on our campus. So you can see that we have so many resources available to you. And really, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many more available that you will learn about in new student orientation and as you go through the program. So all of this information is actually on our website. Our website is csusb.edu/MBA, and you'll see it in the top right corner of this page, csusb.edu/MBA. We've got admissions guidelines, deadlines, forms, course information, all that good stuff is going to be on our website. And in addition to that, we list all of our upcoming virtual events. So if you're wanting to attend another info session or you want to recommend that maybe a friend of yours attend one, you can always find that on our homepage. In addition to that, you'll see the blue button on this homepage that says click here for virtual appointments. This is a great way for you to schedule a virtual appointment with me. All you have to do is click the button and you can schedule a virtual appointment with me. And we can have a conversation and see if this program is the right fit for you. All right. So you're also welcome to follow our social media accounts. You'll see those listed here. And we always post our career path series. We always post our alumni speaker series, so you can check those out. You're welcome to attend those as well if you find something that's of interest to you. And on our YouTube channel, which is MBA CSUSB, you'll see that on the right here. That's where you can find an application assistance workshop. That's already been recorded. You can also find pre-recorded career path series, an orientation that we have done before. You'll find a variety of helpful videos there that will give you a really good sense of what this program is all about. And then just to make things really easy, if you want to schedule a virtual appointment with me, you can pull out your smartphone and scan this QR code, and it'll take you right to a scheduling page. And so I hope that I have the opportunity to connect with each of you virtually. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure to spend my day with you. Are there any last questions before we end today? Okay. You're welcome to go off of mute if you have any other questions. If not, please feel free to reach out to me. I would be happy to connect with each of you individually. And again, thank you so much for being with us today.